Welcome to Bucket List Careers, the podcast. I'm Krista Laurie, your host. This is episode 158, and today I have Cheryl Brause with me in studio. She is the co-founder of Pause to Be Present, which is a premier mindfulness and meditation studio in Westchester County, New York. Cheryl, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Krista.
I'm excited to have our conversation about your career evolution to becoming a co-founder. There are a few pivots we want to dig into. You have an impressive resume. We want to hear all about your transitions. But let's start with you telling me about Pause to Be Present. There might be some people out there who don't really know what a mindfulness and meditation studio offers. So let's talk about that and why it's your bucket list career.
Sure. So I co-founded Pause to Be Present about 5 years ago. And the goal we had with my co-founder, Stephanie Falk, was to really just spread the work of what I was doing prior to the creation of this company, and that is teaching mindfulness and meditation. So Pause to Be Present has sort of expanded the reach of me teaching, and we have 5 other teachers that teach with us. We have a whole array of offerings, which I'm so excited about. Yeah. We have morning live stream meditations every single morning at 8 a.m. where people can log in from anywhere in the country. We have a community of over 150 people that are members, and we have a 30-minute talk and meditation, so people can start their day with a bit of wisdom and a nice deep breath, and a message about how to live that day more fully. We also offer retreats where we take people to destinations and give them an experience of diving deeper into their meditation practice. We have a silent retreat every year up in Hudson Valley, New York, where we give people the opportunity to be literally unplugged and quiet for a weekend.
Wow.
Which
can you see my face looking so excited about that concept? You obviously found something that fuels you. It's yes. Very clear. Being an entrepreneur, though, very different than what you were doing before.
Yes. Why
does this light you up like nothing else?
Well, I had quite a pivot from careers, and before I was I was an investment banker at Goldman Sachs, and then I went to law school, and I was a corporate litigator in Manhattan for several years before having 3 children. And to be honest, I sort of did what I thought I should be doing in life, getting a professional degree, making money, having something sort of like respectable, something I can always fall back on. And I really enjoyed those careers, but I didn't really find them really fulfilling or meaningful.
And meanwhile, they're so competitive, those jobs to get. And you worked incredibly hard. You have to be obviously very bright and well educated to get to those levels. It's not probably an easy thing to give up.
No, it was a hard transition, an interesting one, because those careers are incredibly competitive and stressful, right?
So let's talk about Goldman Sachs.
Yeah.
Was that out of business school or
no?
Just
right out of undergrad.
Walk us through a little bit of your transitions.
Yeah, so I graduated with an economics degree from University of Michigan, and was lucky enough to get a career, my first career job in investment banking as an analyst. And I knew it was highly competitive. You work really hard. You're very high pressure. I moved to New York City. I'm from the Midwest.
Right, you're from Ohio.
I'm from Ohio. So it was just sort of transitions in all aspects of my life. Yeah. I learned a lot, but I didn't find it incredibly fulfilling. I was always interested in the law and interestingly in how people make decisions and behave in life. Yeah. I can trace now how I got into different areas of my careers. And I think that's what interested me about the law. Then I became a litigator. And all of these sort of checked a box for me of what I thought I should be doing, and prestigious and all of that, but weren't fulfilling.
Right. I mean, you were probably very proud of yourself, your family was proud of you, but something seemed to be missing, you say. And then you have a family, you had 3 kids. I mean, we're fast forwarding a bit. And you did tell me before we started recording that you were very stressed out trying to balance it all, which many of us moms have at one point or another experienced. And you said something to me I thought was really interesting. You said you were constantly looking for the next thing, whether it's the next vacation or the next career move to find fulfillment. And that does fly in the face of Pause to Be Present. Clearly, you decided to put that behind you and do something that forced you to be present.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah. I mean, that was the pivotal moment really for me. That was truly a transformative moment in my life, because I think, as we all do, we're looking for happiness, we're looking for meaning, we're looking for contentment, we're looking for peace, and we're constantly in this forward motion to find it. Where will it be? The next vacation, the next career, the next house, the next, if only, the next relationship. And I was offered a meditation class. And I said, why not? Because, as I said, I had sort of checked all these boxes that from the exterior looked like, wow, she has a great life. And I did. Yeah. And I'm very fortunate for that life. But I didn't find that I was super happy. I was very stressed and always looking for the next thing.
And how long ago was this?
This was in probably about 20 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, a while ago.
So you had that self-awareness fairly early on in your career. Okay. So then you took a meditation class. You say that was the actual pivotal moment in terms of co-founding Pause Be Present.
Yes.
You took a class.
Yes.
And what did that spark in you?
I took a class with a group of women, and I really learned from my first meditation teacher that there was a different way to be each day. That it was possible to not be always going, doing, moving. I always thought that that's what being alive was. Being alive, productive, on the edge of sort of stress and anxiety, going, doing, what am I going to achieve today? And she really taught us what it meant to just stop, just pause and be where we are. And I just had this moment where can I do that? Is that okay? Is that living fully? And through the practice of doing that and saying, actually, my life is happening right now, and I'm always so busy moving past it. And it was an incredible moment to realize that I can be more present in my life. I can be more present with my children. I can enjoy a walk when I'm outside. I don't have to be listening to things and planning the next thing. I can drink my coffee and just enjoy drinking my coffee.
Yeah.
Pretty life-changing.
It's soothing to even hear you speak about it, to be honest.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the origins of the business. Mm-hmm. Did you meet your co-founder at that point? I know you joked about the fact that your husband married an investment banker, but now who became a meditation teacher.
Yes, and, bait and switch there.
Bait and switch. Yeah. I'm sure he's just fine. But tell me about when you started the business and how it's grown, sort of walk us through that evolution.
Yeah, sure. So being the type A personality that I am, I've always been like that. When I found this thing, meditation, that was so meaningful to me and so transformative, I wanted to share it. So I sort of right away started to figure out, can I train in this? Can I share this with other people? How do I do that? So I started with a dear friend of mine, a different partner, way back when. Mm-hmm. And we became what we called two mindful moms, because at the time we both had small children. And we just started a blog, and we started to just talk about and sort of teach these small groups in Mamaroneck of, we used a book by Sharon Salzberg called Real Happiness. And we were just talking about how to be more present with our kids, how to find more meaning and happiness in each day. So my career as a meditation teacher started to evolve, and I started to work for other companies. I started to work for meditation apps as a teacher on those apps, and offer classes. I also did a lot of mindfulness in schools because my kids were little, and I thought, wow, these kids need to learn how to take a breath and slow down. No one ever tells them that. We tell them to hurry up and do more. So I did a lot of mindfulness in schools. And then eventually my now co-founder of this iteration of my business was a student of mine. Oh. She came to a class in Larchmont. I had a studio in Larchmont, and took a class. She was a friend that I knew through our children, and she was one of these people that was like, I'll never meditate, but there's something Cheryl's doing that sounds like it's working for her, so let me check it out.
And it's that collective meditation practice that I never really knew existed. You're really bringing that to people, whether it's indoors, outdoors. What are the benefits of that, Cheryl? Because I really only envisioned having my AirPods in and taking some time in a solo manner, but there's got to be something to the camaraderie the community aspect of the collective.
There is, and it's always been a big, motivation of mine to bring these practices to people in groups. Yeah. The evolution of sort of westernized mindfulness meditation has been sort of turned into you listen to an app, you put your headphones on, and it's a solo practice, to an audio voice. And the truth is, this is a 2,600-year-old practice. It dates way back. back. And it was practiced in community. It was practiced together by a teacher with a group. And it's a really beautiful practice of connection. But also, if any of you have practiced or tried to practice meditation, if you're alone, it's hard. It's hard to kind of stay in the moment.
Right.
It's easy to turn it off, or I can't do this right now. And so when you're with a group, there's an energy to the group that actually does keep you grounded. That's sort of this motivation to keep going. And it's actually much easier to do when you're in a group. So it's a beautiful way to practice and establish your own practice by coming together in a group with a teacher. And that's what we specialize in.
And you also do, like I said, outdoors. You do retreats? How does that work?
We do. We have, we're a big advocate of being in nature. We have a teacher who specializes. I know you interviewed
Cindy Olson,
who's amazing.
Love
so
her.
She's one of the teachers that works with us. Bringing people outside in nature is an amazing way to be more mindful and present, because nature is so gorgeous and so large that it kind of makes your problem seem smaller and less significant. So it's a beautiful way to sort of get out of our own head and into the world. We also do retreats, which we love. We take people out of their homes, their busy lives, to a destination, and then you're sort of immersed for a weekend in these modalities of yoga, meditation, forest bathing, with no phones. Imagine that, right? Unplugging. And we realize people come to these retreats and think, I can't survive without my phone, and the world can't survive without me. And then this thing happens where you're like, actually, I'm not missing out on the world. The world's happening right here. I'm on my phone and too busy to notice it. So often what we notice is
valuable.
At the end of retreat, we give people back their phones. And, at the beginning of retreat, you're like, oh, don't take it from me. At the end of the retreats, people are like, I don't really want it
back. That
it's
is
amazing.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about obstacles, because we want to learn from your journey. And there's all this positivity, but it must not have been super easy. You had transferable skills, I'm sure, coming out of investment banking and being an attorney. But you were never an entrepreneur. So how can we learn from it doesn't have to be a mistake necessarily, but maybe just some stories, vignettes that you think are useful that we could have some takeaways from.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's all trial and error, right? We, and that's the beautiful thing about, and I'm so fortunate in what I do, is that to be present and aware of what I'm experiencing, including the successes and the failures, is all an opportunity to learn more about myself.
Right.
So I've done, work that I find not as fulfilling, and then I learned from that I don't want to do it again, or I've offered classes where people don't sign up and I realize that's not what people are interested in.
Sure.
But the beautiful thing about teaching is I use all of that in my teaching. So my life is my curriculum. If I have a failure or an obstacle that I need to overcome, and the difficulty of that becomes a lesson in how to use that and share that with others as an opportunity to grow. COVID was probably our biggest obstacle.
Right. Yes, that's right. So you opened right before?
Yeah. So the Pause to Be Present was created in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
We built a beautiful meditation studio right here on Mamaroneck Avenue. We put our hearts and souls into this creation of this gorgeous, peaceful, tranquil setting. We opened in November of 2019.
Okay.
And then...
so you were only up and running a couple of months.
Yep. And then in March...
Shut down in March of 2020.
Shut down.
Right. Okay.
Completely.
So were you doing some remote offerings?
So again, an amazing pivot. So literally my co-founder and I, the week that we shut down, we saw that people were struggling. People were terrified. People were quarantined and isolating. And so why not offer live stream meditations for free every day? And I will tell you, Krista, that first month, we would have 60 to 80 people every day join us to breathe. And we were like, this is amazing. This is an amazing opportunity. People don't have to leave their house, but we can find a way to just find some calm and ease. It's good for us. It keeps us healthy. It keeps our immune system strong. And so really from that pivot, we have continued to this day to offer these live stream meditations every single day with a community of people we have people joining us from California, from Indiana, from Maryland. So that's
incredible.
A big
How
part
are you
of our
reaching
business.
them with marketing and such?
A lot of it is as word of mouth. I do speaking speaking engagements. I have a YouTube presence and social media presence and TikTok meditations that reach a lot of people. So people tend to find us. And as I said, I think we offer something unique in that we do live classes with groups, and we also have an opportunity to have Q&A. So, sometimes we listen to things and we're like, but my mind can't stop. How do I, people have an opportunity to ask, what do I do about this? What's this? This is a challenge I'm facing with meditation. So we offer that back and forth so people can really learn and deepen their own practice.
Right. And you hope to open more studios. So tell me a little bit about your scaling up now. What is your 5-year plan for Pause to Be Present?
Yeah. I mean, we have an app now, our own app, which is amazing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. We have so through our app.
So is that something similar to Calm, which is one that I have used in the past?
Yeah.
How does it differ?
It differs because we live stream every day through the app.
Okay.
Classes. So you join live every day, again, with an opportunity to ask questions and get answers from real expert teachers.
Okay, that's cool.
Also, every day the teachers bring to these sessions a topic that is very timely and relevant. Like we had election stress. We had, there are things that are holiday stress, things that are happening in our lives as teachers that we're dealing with that we talk about. And then how does meditation help that? How does mindfulness help you meet those stresses that we're all dealing with every single day? Yeah. So that's different. And then all of those are recorded and put on live every day. So it's sort of like a Peloton model where if you can't be there at 8 a.m., you can listen to this sort of very timely topic and practice these meditation practices every day with whatever teachers you enjoy.
That's amazing.
So we have a lot of that. We also have like courses, like an intro to meditation, which is a longer course.
Okay.
And we have very specific topics and themes that we offer that are also categorized in the app. So we're really trying to scale through making our live classes very accessible to people.
No, that sounds like something that is a bit of a white space that you're creating. And tell me about you in terms of what you think your journey has taught you that we can learn from.
Yeah.
Actionable takeaways based on what you've experienced on finding purpose in your job. Because it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah. Wow. That's a great question.
I know. You can take it in lots of directions.
Yeah. I mean, I feel so grateful to be doing what I'm doing. I really do. So, and I think we can, I like to say what I've learned is like, we cannot control the outside world. Life happens. Yeah. I love the little phrase that life doesn't happen to us. It happens through us, or for us. And so I love the idea of, whatever you're doing is how do I meet it in a way that brings me joy? And I think there are little things we can do every single day by slowing down, by finding things that bring us joy, little things that are right in front of us, and really pausing to notice them and find more space in our day to do them. And that can be personally, professionally, but the shift is really in us. We often depend upon other people to meet our needs, or our jobs to fulfill us, or, the world to be a certain way, how it should be. Yeah. That's never going to happen. If we always are depending on these external things to be just so, we're not going to be happy. But if we can work with our inner world and find ways to move through the outer world, it's magical, and we can all do that.
We can. You did say to me, really listening deeply to yourself is one way to help build your runway into pivoting to something with real purpose. And you said, pay attention to all the barriers you're putting in your way. What are you telling yourself, and what really stands in the way? Are we sometimes our own worst enemy when it comes to making a big change like this? It is daunting to start a new career or make a big pivot like what you have done. Yeah. How do we get out of our own way?
Absolutely. I mean, one of the lessons in mindfulness is to exactly do that, to understand like what are we putting in our own way, and how to sort of broaden the perspective. Fear is an example. I really want to do that, and I'm afraid of failing, or I'm afraid of not being received well, right? So if we can sit for a moment and recognize, and I'm afraid, and I really want to do that, we can really listen to the I really want to do that and sort of quiet the I'm afraid. It's not going to go away. Fear is valuable and a good thing to listen to.
It can motivate, yeah.
It can motivate, but sometimes what happens is people just listen to the fear and say, yeah, I'm not going to do that. Even though that voice in the head is saying, yes, you do want to do that. You want to do that. So I think meditation and mindfulness gives us an opportunity to really listen to like our heart's desire and not let those emotions be a barrier to following what really is important to us. And then you try it and you see and you're like, oh, that was great. I conquered my fear. Or the fear's still there, but I do it anyway.
Yeah.
And it felt really good.
You are so in the right space for yourself. Yeah. Kudos to you.
Thank you.
Let's talk about sending people to your social media presence, all the different platforms where they can find out more. Is your website sort of like it's the central location?
Yeah, we have a great website, pausetobepresent.com, where you can find our live schedule, you can find our classes and offerings, our retreats. We do a lot of corporate wellness. So if you're, we'd love going into companies and offering wellness programming. It's a great thing to offer employees. Yeah. So that's all on the website. We also have social media presence on Instagram. I have my own YouTube channel that's under my name, and there's tons of free meditations. So if you want to sample some of what we do, that can be found there. And then on TikTok,
you're on TikTok.
I dabble in. I mean, I have a sleep meditation that's got hundreds of thousands of views, which people just can't sleep. Yeah. So if you want to just listen, I have some good audio meditations there as well to
And
enjoy.
you're even on Facebook too. I think I saw that you just put tips on there for being mindful when you're traveling.
Absolutely,
just lots of different things.
Yeah, and we have we have a weekly newsletter too that you can sign up through our website. And every Sunday there's a little blog at the top of the list of offerings. And it's one of my favorite things to do is I love offering these tips for the week of how to travel more calmly, for example, how to reduce stress over the holidays, like whatever it is that we're all experiencing, little tips on how to move through life with more ease and joy. That's my goal, is to help people do that.
So valuable. Well, Cheryl Brause, thank you so much for coming in, co-founder of Pause to Be Present. Everyone check her out and follow for more information. And that'll do it for this episode of Bucket List Careers, the podcast. I'm Krista Laurie. Thanks so much for joining me. Check us out online, bucketlistcareerspodcast.com. DM me any input or guest ideas. And if you're not already following, our social platforms are at Bucket List Careers. Until the next episode, be well.